Welcome to Ain't Nothing New Under the Sun. My name is Darius.
I am George.
And today we have a very special episode 20 for you. Now, sorry again about my singing bowl. Well, not really sorry, but just to let you know, we are going to have music produced for us very soon. It's going to be an intro and outro song as well. But you know what? Today, because it's our 20th episode, might as well beg on our knees. Subscribe. That subscribe button, press it. Like, dislike. I don't even mind if you dislike it, because at least it'll show that there are people watching it. It'll show YouTube that people might hate this, but at least they're watching it, right? And then, George, you want to give out some info before we get this episode started?
Instagram is at logically_GQ. Twitter is _Joe Taco.
All right. I will not give you my Twitter because it's a secret account. But I do have an Instagram. It's a long_lost_Castro. I know I don't look like one, but I am a long lost Castro. So, let's get into it today. So, today, actually, yesterday's episode, we had a little bit of technical difficulties, or we got a little too close to the truth. Not too sure which one it is or was. So, we're going to kind of start this episode kind of finishing and adding a little extra news to what we were ending our episode with, and then we're going to get on to some other information that we already had planned for this episode. So let's get going. Boom. We all know who that is. That's Epstein. R.I.P. I mean, rest in pieces of shits. Okay? Rest in pieces of shits. But yeah, let's start this off. So George, take it away.
Breaking news today. Ghislaine Maxwell said she has camera footage of Prince Andrew with, she doesn't say if younger or older women.
We all know they're young. Prince Andrew.
Yeah.
Not only that, here's something about Prince Andrew. He might not be a prince. He might actually be a bastard. And I wanted people to look up, we actually mentioned this in an episode before, the New King. It's a little documentary from England, and there's a man saying that he is the true heir to the throne. Getting a little crazier, he also thinks he's the second coming of the Messiah. But hey, he says that he has lawyers and he's already disputed their claims, and that's why Prince Andrew's shit and breaks. Because not only do they have a picture, but let me tell you something about Prince Andrew. He has diplomatic immunity. It's not that easy to just snatch someone up that has diplomatic immunity. But if we take his lordship and his princehood, or whatever you want to call it, then we strip him of his titles. And we strip him of his titles, then we get to strip him of that diplomatic immunity, and then we get to pull him into the States to try him as the pedophile, freak, monster elite he is.
That'd be ideal. I completely would allow that, but we'll see how long Maxwell does survive. We talked yesterday about her brothers essentially being like Israeli startup connoisseurs, whatever you kind of want to talk about. Then her sisters were essentially big in tech and sold a lot of programs to the FBI. So the FBI did know about her, like for the last 7 months, I believe she'd owned the house in New Hampshire where she was found. So the stories seems pretty shady, and I don't know. It's a 50-50 on whether or not she's going to die.
There's a lot of agents in the FBI, and there could be planted agents for her or for the elites or the deep state, and then there could be actual regular agents that are good, hard-working people that just want to make a difference. And that's the issue, and that's how the elite and the deep state works. It's not that every person in there is a bad person or is following the elite and the deep state agenda, or Luciferians or Cupid Saturn people. It's that you plant in very specific key people in very specific key areas, and then those people dictate and delegate other people to do things. So some people blindly follow, or just follow because they think it's the right thing to do, but they don't realize they're actually working for nefarious reasons. So you could have some faction in the FBI that was helping her and working for her, and then you could have another faction in the FBI that was actually trying to pursue her and was being withheld information from the other said faction.
Mm-hmm.
How about that, apples? Applesauce,
no,
bitch.
I hope, I hope it works out. This whole entire thing's just generally crazy, and it's kind of weird that they're putting her in the same person as Jeffrey Epstein died in, which
It's almost
like
poetic justice.
yeah, exactly. But there is that whole entire thing is like that prison already has a black eye from Epstein. They don't want another one from Ghislaine. So it's
Well, it's because they're being where she's being tried. She's being tried by the, you know, the federal government. That's a federal penitentiary. It's not like, and they're not going to fly her to California or to another one. They're just going to take her to the closest one to where they're going to be able to try her and have federal agents. That's why they're there. It's not like New Hampshire has this giant federal prison that we can take him to.
mm-hmm.
She was in a small jail prison. She wasn't in like a federal actual prison.
Mm-hmm.
So, but look, she might die. She might squeal. Apparently, she's naming names. She has backup drives. It's already been leaked that she said that she has pretty much everything that Epstein has all together. So, are
hopefully
people
the
sweating?
charges are more.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know she's not even charged for rape.
Well, more things will come to light. She's probably gonna take a plea deal, and she's probably gonna try to make walk, but get a slap on the wrist and go to Club Fed. She's gonna go where Martha Stewart went, and a lot of these white-collar criminals are gonna go. She's not gonna go to the hard slammer. She's gonna go to Club Fed, and she's gonna have a wonderful life, and then maybe have a doppelganger come and replace her, or maybe something will mysteriously happen to her, and she'll go and live her life on her yacht, or she'll be thrown off her yacht just like her father was. We don't know. Only time will tell. But it's at least a good step in the right direction. But it could also be a ruse and a kind of a way to get certain people off certain things. Again, as long as she has evidence, that's all that matters. She can name names all she wants, but if she doesn't have the evidence, then you can't pursue the names that she's going after. But apparently she has some huge names beyond actual Prince Andrews that were billionaires and very powerful people from around the world. And
prime ministers
is more important than her. Because again, she is the facilitator, the middlewoman, whatever you want to call her. She has powerful people. Like Epstein, her job was to blackmail these powerful people. So she has the dirt on them, and she's caught. And so hopefully she gives forward all the people we need. But here's another problem. She might not give forward the people we know that she should, because she knows that she'll die, just like Epstein. So that's another predicament. Because Epstein was killed, she might not be able to give that information that Epstein was actually going to give. And the information that Epstein already gave, that the judge is saying that they should destroy, that just might disappear. Those names go into the brush, and she just doesn't get killed by that faction of elites. But hey, I don't know. Time will tell. All right, so let's move past this. We did talk about it yesterday. Pretty much, this is the biggest story right now, and especially the truth world. We've been kind of rooting for this and hoping for this, and there's been a lot of speculation before this coming up to this. So pretty much most of our episodes, if something big happens, we will mention it because, hey, you have a right to know, and the mainstream media is not going to tell you everything, and Hillary Clinton's not going to tell you either. All right. So, some other big things in the news right now is the armed militia challenges white nationalists at Georgia Stone Mountain Park. Now, George, what is their name again?
Not Fucking Around Crew, NFAC.
All right, sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds like they're not fucking around. So here's a little picture of them here. They are a new type of militia. I've heard different estimates. What it looks like a couple hundred.
There's a thing about 1,000.
Well, the leader, Grandmaster J, my bad. He said there's already been 20,000 contacts that he's had, and so they're 20,000 strong, 1,000 heavily armed, ready to go, but 20,000 overall. What do they want? Who are they? And where are they? Well, they're obviously in Georgia. They went to Stone Mountain Park, which is a historical place for these people here, the KKK. That's not really the KKK. That's from a movie. Harold and Kumar. So, going back, and they were also calling out these people here, the Boogaloos. So the Boogaloos and the KKK, they were calling them out, essentially trying to stir up issues. Now, again, I'm all for having militias. I'm all for the right to bear arms. But what is your intent, and how far are you willing to take it? And Grandmaster Jay seems like he's willing to take it pretty far.
It seems like this interesting. Like, this is the first I've heard about it since, I think they dropped a couple of days ago, July 4th weekend, and I don't know. This is all new to me. Like you said, I'm definitely a Second Amendment guy for sure, and I found it pretty interesting that they were pretty organized compared to, I don't know, I guess Iraq, Afghani insurgents as far as that goes.
Well, Grandmaster Jay did mention that a lot of them are former military, and I have heard about them before from Snoop Dogg. He actually posted about them months ago, talking about this is what white people and the government fears. And they were talking about their training courses and working out and being in regiments and regimented lifestyle and their new militia they are forming. Other than that, I didn't hear about it until literally the other day, 4th of July.
It's probably getting funded by people like Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
You have to be funded. Now, looking at some of the pictures I have, they're pretty armed. Nowadays, though, y'all can get tac vests, depending on what grade it is. I don't know if they actually have anti-ballistic armor, what grade it is. Hint, you want to have at least the level 3, grade level 3, or grade 3, whatever, because depending on what level it is, some are for knives, some are for small caliber rounds, and some are for higher caliber rounds. Just throwing that out there if they're listening. Now, obviously, a lot of people that know guns pretty well have pointed out a few of the people that had jams in their guns or the misuse of their guns. But again, these people also point out how Antifa does the same thing. And now, what is a demand? I actually listened to quite a bit of the Grandmaster Jay's concerns, issues, and wants and needs, right? A few things. One, he was not only calling out the KKK, like I said, these people there, but he was also calling out the Boogaloos and the 3%ers. He says that they demand from our federal government reparations. Then they demand a piece of land carved out of America to be self-governed by African Americans. Well, by then, I don't know what they would call themselves because they're no longer Americans. By definition, creating their own country. Most of them. So, I don't know, African Indigenous. I don't know what they're going to... African and, NFACs. I really don't know. He didn't really get into that. But he did mention that he wants Texas. I know why he wants Texas. It would never happen because Texas has farmable land and natural resources, especially oil. So obviously it's worth a lot of money. It's centered in the U.S. So if any people to attack, they would be in the center of the U.S. So no one's going to really attack them if they ever attack America. Realistically, he'd probably have some pretty stringent border patrol, and so it'd probably be a lot more rough compared to what America does to the Mexican border, but that's just my opinion because I don't know. So that's pretty much the rundown of what he was asking and demanding. So he was calling out, and but this is the problem. You're gonna call out the Boogaloos, the 3%, the KKK, and whatever. And he called it a lot, just pretty much plain white people in general, and said they're sick of their shit, white Americans. You might piss off the wrong people. Okay, there are some people that are just for show and flash, and obviously most of those people that are in those regiments, a lot of these guys, they're not ready. They're not gonna be ready. Once they start getting hit with guns and shooting, it's not gonna be good. And second, you don't want to fight the U.S. government. Because the U.S. government's not going to send in troops. They're just going to hit you with a drone. Or they're going to use some of their new age weapons that they haven't used yet. And they've been waiting for people that are well armed to use this, like the sound waves or the heat rays and drones and gas cannons and just the fun things that they're going to use. So you got to be smart. I have nothing against using his rights. And he does mention that he is technically using the amendment in the Constitution, or constitutional and amendment rights to bear arms and to create a militia and to demand our government to change. Now, again, that's nothing wrong with that. But the difference between treason and patriotism is who wins, right? That's really the difference. So you could be a patriot and start a revolution, create your militia, and tear down the tyranny of the government, which, again, our government's so complex, so many levels, that it's not that easy. It's not going to be like that. We're not like these countries that we have one dictator that we could just take out and then we can figure out from there. We have different levels of government. So, if you fight the federal government and lose, you are treason. That's considered treason. And guess what happens? You die. Execution style. If you don't live in the battlefield, you're going to jail forever or going to get executed. And almost the sick, fucked up, ironic part is you're probably going to get hung. You're mad because of hangings, and you're going to be hung because of treason. Because that's what happens. Now, again, if you do it the right way, create certain demands, ask for somewhere like Wyoming, because there's 500,000 people in Wyoming, then maybe the government will take you a little bit more seriously and give you some of your demands. But you just have to be careful, because the second you fire your gun, and this is what the 3%ers know and the boogaloos know and all those whatever you want to call right-wing nuts, the second you fire your gun, there is no going back. So you need to make sure the people that are with you are well trained and are smart about it. Because again, if someone just accidentally shoots their gun, then it's over. Now, I'll give him one thing he didn't mention. Well, I give him a few things, because again, as long as you do the right steps and have reasonable, let's be honest, reasonable things you're asking for. Because again, if you're not only declaring war on right-wing nationalists, as you call them, but you're declaring war on our federal government on their land, you got to be careful. But well, what's going to come from it? Like, what's going to happen? What if the 3%ers, boogaloos, or KKK showed up with guns? Then what would you do? Are you going to fire upon them? Are you just going to be in a standoff? What are you going to do?
Mm-hmm. What does the government do at that point?
Well, the government is going to go Waco style. The government, let me tell you something about the government. They don't mind fucking people up. And the second you shoot someone or someone dies because of your actions, they're going to consider treason, sedition, domestic terrorism, and when the second, because of Obama, the last black president, or half black, now we can designate a lot more people as domestic terrorists, and that's not good for you.
Mm-hmm.
Again, there's certain ways you could do this. So again, you go into war, people start dying. Half your movement isn't ready for that. Let's be honest, they're not. Most people aren't ready for full-on massacring. And second, it just takes one crazy person to stop that whole movement. With many different ways. Like, okay, I mentioned this before, was that gasoline truck, right? Someone that had to stop, but couldn't stop instantly, right? Because by the way, that truck driver, has been indicted and is going to jail for attempted murder. Yeah, look it up. So, truckers are pissed. Because again, like I said, because people don't know fucking physics and people are idiots. If that truck weighing 18,000 pounds. 18,000 pounds, right? It's like 9 tons-ish, around there. He's going at like 70 miles per hour. He slams on its brakes as hard as he can. It will cause such massive amount of friction. Momentum is mass times acceleration. The momentum pushes it forward. The brakes seize up, start on fire. That thing becomes a bomb. A bomb. Now, imagine if someone means to do this. Now you take someone who did that on accident and could have massacred every single person on that bridge. Look up fuel tankers blowing up or fuel refineries blowing up. Look at that up. Okay? It's insane. You take that.
Even going down the Cajon freeway, you'll see that all the time.
Yeah. There's the brake smoke, and they have to go off the off ramp, that sand off ramp. So imagine now you take someone who is an actual racist and crazy and has their hands on something like that, has maybe PTSD or just a psycho racist, and they are being called out by this militia, and this militia is saying where they're gonna go. Imagine if someone takes this 18,000 pound big rig full of gas, or just takes a regular big rig and creates the same type of bomb that the World Trade Center bomb, the first one, not the second one, blew up. And you just are chilling with your regiment, with your 1,000 strong people, and this huge ass big rig's barreling through people. You're shooting at him, you're shooting at him, you're shooting at him. You finally stop it, you surround it to get him. The guy goes click, ka fucking boom. And then what? Then what? You just massacred hundreds of people.
Dude, yeah.
That's a reality. And I'm going to tell you the scariest part. The government might get someone to do it. So the government doesn't have to technically get their hands bloody. And so they just blame it on some racist white supremacist that they control. And they do it. This is 2020. And what I know about history is there is a lot of crazy people. So this could happen. So again, if you want to do it right, do it right. Because honestly, this armed militia scares people, right? And scared people make rash decisions. Just look at the pandemic we're in. Look at what Como did. Maybe he was scared, so he rushed the sick into the elderly homes and killed them all. I don't know. But this makes people nervous. When you're calling the people out and then demanding land, that makes people nervous. And you have to be careful. Because again, I don't have a problem with creating a militia, having wants, but you have to have a dialogue. If you just go around with guns, ranting, that's not dialogue. That's how you get murdered. Something bad's gonna happen to a lot of people. And the government doesn't always have to fight you head up. They could just knock on your door and then hopefully they would just want you to shoot, because if you shoot, then they get to kill you without having you go to trial. That's, again, if you want to do it, say, look, we demand, because of these problems, let's have a dialogue. We don't want to get violent, but we want to protect ourselves, our community, and we feel that because of racist whites from the KKK and Boogaloos don't have the same ideals, we need to, at some point, find our own way to govern ourselves. If that's truly what you believe, then find a dialogue. But our government is very complex. It's not like it used to be. There's many levels of our government. And if you walk around with guns and mishandle guns, which a few guys have, they've been called out already. And not all of them. There are some people there that are well trained, are ex-military, and they do train each other. But when the getting gets going, what are they gonna do? If these guys and these guys start going at it, what are they gonna do? Right? Because I don't think the Boogaloos are there to fight anybody. They're not there to shoot up places. They're there to show that they are armed. And I'm not saying they're there to shoot up the place. They're both just... But at what point, when you push, does someone push back? And that's what's dangerous. And what are they? And if again, Grandmaster Ray, dude, send a certified letter to the White House to ask to speak to Trump, and then send a certified letter to the Biden campaign and sit down and have a dialogue. And if you really are a bad motherfucker, you'd ask all three of you to sit down, because one might be president soon and the other one is president and might be president again, and say, look, all three of us need to sit down and have a dialogue because I have real demands, real concerns, and I'm proving that this is a growing movement. But hey, I'm just a dude with a startup podcast on YouTube. What do I know? By the way, this is Ben Frank. Ben Frank. Do you know what Ben Franklin's motto was?
Fuck it, give me electricity.
Yeah, close. He likes to feel electric, drink good wine, and lots of prostitutes. That's yeah. He had his vices, man. All right. So, George, have any thoughts about this? Any other things?
No, I think you hit the nail on the head on that. Let's go to the next one.
All right, the next one's Terry Crews, right? So, a lot of stupid people listen to CNN, think Don Lemon is the man. Did you know, George, is Don Lemon mixed with white?
I believe so.
Because I know every night he is.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I just thought of that right now. Look, Don Lemon is one of the CNN shouters, preachers, manipulators, propagandists, that you can hide behind that chiseled face that I don't seem like I can probably get crazy, but I'm not crazy kind of face. You could trust me. You know, I used to tell on kids at school, in high school. I used to tell on people all the time. I was a hall attendant type of face. When there was a substitute teacher, I had to tell them all about the kids in the class, who to stay away from, who to not trust, who's not really there, who's lying. He's that type of person. We all know it. Look at him. Look. Hold on. Yeah, that's the type of person he is.
So, they had a tense exchange about regarding Black Lives Matter and its purpose. Cruz faced criticism over some of his recent comments about the movement, saying all Black Lives Matter after I think it was 28 children died over this weekend in Chicago and Atlanta.
Which our last episode we did talk about that.
Yes, we did.
Sorry that we're more sympathetic about children than Don Lemon is.
Well, Terry Crews even said he'll die on that hill, which is like, I like that type of mentality, that like you'll die on that hill. Like, give it to me. Like, he's like, it's gonna come at you, and well, let me do it. And there is like, it's an 8-minute and 59-second interview, I believe. Anyone can watch it. You can see Terry Crews kind of he wanted to cuss that motherfucker out. Like, dude, Terry Crews is a big ass motherfucker, and like when he gives you the eye, like I'm gonna fucking slap you. He's probably not gonna do it, but he knows he can. And, he knows what damage he can do to that face. So like that perfect, beautiful face. I'm sure it was great for him to not be in the same studio as Don Lemon and be a Skype call.
It would have been much more aggressive. Don Lemon had that sheriff, the African American sheriff on, and he was like, "We need to cut to commercial because this guy's going too crazy." And he's like, "Why are you trying to call me out like that? Why are you? I'm just trying to have a dialogue with you." And he's like, "No, I'm past dialogue." Because Don Lemon, again, is an instigator. He's a propagandist instigator. And I have a
He was
problem
doing
with
that at the end with Terry Crews. It's like, oh, I'm gonna have to cut you off. Hey, Terry, I gotta go. Terry, I gotta go. Terry, and I'm like, you're literally once
because
he's about to like go off, like,
because he knows he's losing. He
mhm,
knows that the script only is so long, and once he can't go off script, he can't. And the writers aren't there typing it in right away. They're
mhm,
trying to get him as much as they can, but at some point, you're not gonna win. You're not gonna win. I'm sorry. Look it. He literally said, "This is a separate issue. Black children dying in the fucking streets, being murdered because of violence, and not gun violence, but violence, human on human violence, is not the problem of Black Lives Matter." So the most innocent form of human beings, children, doesn't matter to Black Lives Matter.
trash.
George, you already said
It matters if
CBLM.
they get killed by a cop.
Oh yeah.
That's like, and that's it.
Oh,
Like that's
because
the whole
no, because
entire
that's what
thing.
he said. This is about cops killing black people, and that's it. Not black people killing black people, and especially not black people killing children or violent crimes that children end up dying.
Yeah. And
Now,
once he was
do you
getting
know
into
what makes me pissed
like,
about this? Because
Go
we
ahead.
know that a lot of these CNN propagandist bastards are linked to pedophiles in the pedophile ring, like this ring here. This ring here. These Ghislaine Maxwell and Epstein, because they don't care. These people don't
I mean,
care about kids. And not only that,
Podesta, bro.
no, not
And
only
his
that,
brother.
no, not only that, Terry Crews has a family. Let me tell you something. I don't have kids yet, but I want kids one day. But I do have nephews and nieces, and I already feel that I would take a bullet for them. I would protect them. If you touch them, you hurt them, you die. Okay? If you're a pedophile and you touch one of my little ones, something bad's gonna happen to you. If you were gonna kill one of them or severely injure them and you're an adult, good luck. Alright? Like, they're not, if they find you, you're going to be in like 4 different states, man. I'm going to take you to a casino or a freaking Indian reservation, pay someone off so I can bury you in the Indian reservation. Okay? And it's going to be slow. So don't touch children. But the problem is Don Lemon, okay? I don't care about his sexuality, but does he have a child? Does he have a biological child that he created?
Not even either. Adopted or created.
So he has nothing. He doesn't care about the next generation. He doesn't care about legacy. His legacy is he will be known for being a CNN anchor. And he's a propagandist, prop head, figurehead, spouting bullshit scumbag that doesn't know what it's like to have family like that. Okay, it has nothing to do with sexuality, because I'm sure there are many gay and lesbian couples that have children that care and would do anything and everything for them. But people like this that are linked to and protect the pedophile elite ring don't care. And someone like Terry Crews does care, because Terry Crews has a family. Terry Crews understands what it's like to be a father, to be a supportive person, to finally have something worth more than yourself. And this is a problem with a lot of young people that don't have kids, or do have kids but don't care about their kids. They don't know what it's like to have something that's actually above them. People are selfish, and Don Lemon is a selfish human being. And for him, I don't care who you are, if you allow him to get away with saying little kids don't matter, these black children don't matter, the future of his race, the future of our country don't matter, the innocence and purity of a child does not matter. That's what he said. It's a separate issue. That's what he said. Look it up. Watch the whole clip right now. Hopefully they didn't edit it, but it's pretty asinine to me that he got away with saying that. And not just get away with it, but pushed it and tried to shut Terry Crews down and have this smirk.
Try to make it sound moral.
Yeah, have this smirk like this is a different issue. This doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The future.
You gotta go, Terry.
Yeah,
you gotta go.
I gotta go, Terry.
You gotta go.
Look at Terry. This is a separate issue. You know this is a separate issue. We don't. Black Lives Matter isn't for the murderers of children. That's not what we're for. And that's why
they're into Marxist.
Yeah, there's this new push that is all Black Lives Matter, and they're trying to go against it because again, BLM, capital B, capital L, capital M, is an organization that is against people like Terry Crews, the patriarchy, the nuclear family. Okay, first of all, the nuclear family, like some people say it's racist, but he considers himself a nuclear family, and he's in a mixed family. What people are so crazy that they don't care about the future. You know, they cry and cry. You'll have CNN cry and cry about the environment and the future, but then argue for someone that's saying that black children matter, saying it's a separate issue.
All right. He also goes into the gun culture. The country is prevalent, but I don't understand what that has to do with the movement that's equality for black people. Cruz countered, black people need to build or need to hold other black people accountable, adding, this is Black America's version of the hashtag #MeToo movement.
People just need to be held accountable, okay? I don't care if you're straight, LGBTQ, black, white, Asian, mocha, Hispanic, Puerto Rican, Eskimo, Icelandic, penguin, okay? You need to be held accountable. You, especially as an adult, may take actions, and then there's reactions, and you need to be held accountable. People don't like being held accountable, and this is why we continue to have this roundabout issues. And it's not just the poor, it's not just the urban areas, it's everybody. It's from the elites down. It's these people like Jeff Bezos that aren't being held accountable, that's laughing, not paying extra taxes or relief taxes or helping out everyone, becoming more and more rich. You ain't gonna have it forever. All these evil people from the top and down. These politicians aren't held accountable. Again, these politicians strike down leaving Afghanistan. But then people like CNN peddle that troops are being hunted down and murdered. Well, they are being murdered and being killed. It's called war. This is unconfirmed, being denied by multiple intelligence agencies, and the Al-Qaeda is saying it. It's untrue. Everyone's saying it's untrue. It's because they found money. They found cash.
They found $500,000, but like no one can link it, and they're just like, "Oh, it came from Russia." The whole entire story is like frustrating.
Maybe it came from Iran that we gave 1.8 billion in cash to, cold card cash. Maybe it's from them. Did they not, remember what the bills were? Did they not trace it, track it? Do they not have any account of what they gave? They just printed it and handed it over to Iran?
It's a joke, dude. It's a joke.
You ever thought about that
one?
Well,
Darius, do you remember Ed Buck, the guy that killed two black men with meth in his West Hollywood apartment? Ed Buck was like essentially a Clinton donor.
Yeah.
That lasted, I'm not even sure, CNN even like blasted the story due to the fact he was a Clinton story, but it was a white man killing two different black men at two different times.
Yeah.
And he's just getting he got indicted last October, I believe.
Yeah. So we actually had breaking news. So we just got a video in of Don Lemon doing a visual representation to Terry Crews. Hold on. Okay, do we have it live? This just came in. This is what he's doing right now. Oh my god. That's essentially what he did. That's crazy.
Straight up, dude. Straight up.
Look at that face of disappointment. Don Lemon is a traitor to his own people and to all people. Okay, Don Lemon's a traitor to America. I'm sorry. These propagandists, false narrative it's not even fake news anymore. It's dangerous news. It's taking your life. It's making you die more quickly. I would say it's making you die slowly, but it's making you die more quickly. Peddling false narratives, evil propaganda, trying to kill more Americans, cause people to be riled up, causing more and more issues. It's disgusting. Don Lemon is disgusting. Okay? All the CNN anchors, disgusting. Rachel Maddow, disgusting. All of them. MSNBC, disgusting. Fox News,
It's like I can't even find
disgusting.
any good ones anymore.
Okay.
Like I think Tucker Carlson, but like Tucker Carlson still has some like fucking interesting shit.
He has some
But
BS,
like, yeah,
but I'll give him here. He has called out Trump multiple occasions. I'll give him that token. He said
I
some
like
bullshit.
what he said about Afghanistan recently too.
No,
Yeah,
and again, I read
but
and
no
watch
one
all
in
news.
CNN's talking
Has
about
anybody
that either,
noticed?
bro.
Has anybody noticed, real quick, and then I'll let you go? Our news articles come from every single news source. We have Fox, CNN, Independent, Wall Street Journal, Washington
RT.
Post, RT News, Al Jazeera, all of it. Why? Because we like to be informed from all sides. It's important to look at all different narratives and to read more than just what this says. Read the whole thing, watch the whole video, and try to come to a conclusion of yourself. So look at both sides, try to look at all different narratives, and try to figure out from yourself what it should be and how to move forward.
Self accountability, guys. That's all we're trying to preach here. Like to know all sides.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I don't know. This whole entire thing is more and more shit happens. More and more, this feels like a simulation. And the CIA did drop it like kind of papers saying this is kind of a simulation because just how ridiculous it is. At this point, let's write in Kanye West at this point. Because fuck it all at this point. Because it doesn't fucking matter. Like, it does, like, just write it in, people. Like, write in your name. Write in Darius's name. Like, I don't care. Like, just, this is sick at this point, guys. Like,
George, I'm going to give you a little ovation.
Thank you.
But, it is true. There are a lot of ridiculous people in this world. And you think you got your rights taken away now? It's going to get worse. It really is. And that brings us to our next topic. China. Because it all roads lead back to China. It's like that damn Silk Road. So, if you living under a rock, before George kind of gets into the story, a little background. Hong Kong has been in a struggle to have. They want pretty much their own ruling and their own independence. They have been essentially not rioting, but they've been protesting for a while now. Before we were protesting our problems, because they have real problems, and China keeps cracking the whip, taking the hammer down, and it gets worse and worse. And now it's to the point where it's very bad for them. George, take it away.
China seeks world domination. Should the U.S. keep doing business with it? FBI Chief Wray seems to want it both ways. If the picture of the Chinese malign influence in the U.S. is as dire as the FBI Director Chris Wray painted it, the two nations ought to be at war. Yet Wray doesn't advise that, suggesting it's all just a Russiagate-like fear-mongering, which I appreciate. China is engaged in the whole of a state effort to become the world's only superpower at any means necessary. Wray argued on Tuesday, speaking at the event hosted by the Hudson Institute in D.C. In addition to being able to execute malign influences, projects, and authoritarian efficiency, China is calculating they're persistent, they're patient, and they're not subject to the righteous constraints of an open democratic society or the rule of law, Wray argued.
China plays by their own rules, people. They really do.
And,
they play in the West plays in a confined rules that is set up by the world. We have set up rules that makes it somewhat fair for everybody. And there are boundaries and rules and parameters. And honestly, they're always pushed. People do backdoor deals. It's not perfect. Let's be honest. It's not perfect. But China plays by their own rules. And they are so powerful that they're allowed to. And let me tell you something. China has wanted to rule the world for almost 10,000 years. Since the first dynasty, they wanted to be number one. China is one of the longest running countries. They've had many dynasties, and they have time and time again massacred their own people for their own strength in moving forward. I would say progress, but I don't know if that's progress, military or purple. There are thousands, if not tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of Chinese that are in the Great Wall of China. So every time you walk on there,
if they died, throw them in.
It's good mortar.
It's good cement.
Good mortar for the cement, you know. It's wet, it's crunchy, lots of different minerals.
So, like, and we're going into it yesterday as far as China, like, stealing information through TikTok and people's information, and how, like, the military needs to stop kind of having their wives download it, because, like, that can be connected, and information stolen that way, bank accounts stolen that way, pictures that can be, like, used against you can be stolen that way, and there's just a lot, like, they're very manipulative. They know how to manipulate. They get it. They get the psychosis from American people. Is he cute? Is she cute? Like, get that, like, oh, does it rhyme, the song? Let them get into a dance. Like, they know what they're doing. They know how this, like, psychological operation, what they're doing, how they're creating it, and how the way it's kind of going for them, and them stealing constant information, and no one's kind of realizing that. Besides India, who took theirs. But we talked about this yesterday. China plays by their own fucking rules. They don't care.
This is the problem. TikTok is a Trojan horse, right? So you have this cute app where people, first of all, are spreading pedophilia, so no one brings that up. Literal pedophilia. I forgot what the dude's name is, like Moreno or something. And he just got in some hot water because he literally shows a little kid his junk and then looks at her body and laughs. That's not cute. I get what you're doing. I get that it's almost cute, but you're literally doing it. It would be cute if it's a cut scene where it's like her like walking in or whatever, but it's a cut scene, whatever. No, but you're like, here, look, I have a small piece of junk. And then he's like, look it, I have small junk. And that's evil. That's disgusting. It's trash, okay? I know that plays with some of the elites, but that doesn't play with middle America. Sorry. And, you know, it's a Trojan horse. So you have this cute app, and then what they're doing is they're finding out who people are, they're tracking them, they're scanning their faces, they're scanning things. And China spends so much money and time trying to hack our databases, hack into our systems, and take over a grid and whatever, what have you. Now, imagine in Fantasyland that they actually break through TikTok. They break through the firewalls and then access your camera through TikTok. It is a fact that there are hackers are good enough to get into people's cameras. So who says they haven't? So now you're a military member that has it on your phone because your cheating wife thought it'd be cute for you to have it. And then your phone, you foolishly, because sometimes people don't listen, take it into rooms or in areas, and they access your camera. It passes by, they scan that information, and now they have something secret of ours. Because again, people are stupid. Human error is one of the biggest problems in everything, right? It's people making a mistake. Human error causes a lot of issues. So something that you're not thinking of, maybe just like, oh, screw it, I just want to text her back real quick, so I have it in my pocket, and then the camera's hanging out in your pocket just a little bit, and it's scanned, and you go buy something while they're hacking. Oh, hey, we just got that from you. Again, if the ads can pop up on your phone from things you say, and if they can if American companies can data mine you, what's stopping them to use TikTok as a Trojan horse to hack into your system and data mine you, but for nefarious reasons, not just trying to sell you weight loss supplements or a car.
Breaking news: the U.S. officially withdraw all support from the WHO, which we talked in WHO, and we talked about essentially is Chinese puppet, and this kind of goes with this whole entire coronavirus and this whole entire bullshit as far as China trying to wreck this shit up, and then CNN being kind of always mentioning the rise in viruses when obviously there's no fucking testing being done. Like, I get it. It's bad. It sucks. But people are getting tested from it, and some people say they don't wish it upon others. Some people say it was a breeze. Depends who you are. Depends what you smoked.
Yeah, it hits everyone. Okay, first of all, it hits everyone different. Depends on. I've heard many different scientists and doctors say many different things. Something that I can assure you that a lot of them say is like vitamin D is good to have. Low blood pressure, or not high blood pressure, not heart disease, as long as you're not in certain categories of ailments, it's not going to be as bad. And look, go to the chart, look up what states had the highest flux, what age groups, when it happened, and why it happened. It wouldn't have been, they love this number. Oh, it keeps going higher and higher and higher. But then if you look at this, there's a spike and a drop. And the spike is in certain states, certain areas, and certain age groups. Notably, New York. New York has, what, 1/4 of all the deaths? In just New York, around 1/4, just under. That's, they murdered people. And between, a majority of the deaths are between, New York, Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, Illinois, Pennsylvania, whatever, what have you. A lot of them had huge spikes. New Jersey as well. A lot of people died. Florida's going up in cases. And they liked pushing the cases. Again, more you test, more we're going to find out people are sick or have it. That's just what's going to happen. But then the deaths are going down. And the deaths had a huge spike because of negligence and malpractice. The governors making mistakes, health officials making mistakes, and then blaming a not doctor president. Our president is not a doctor. And another thing, CNN peddled the high, oh my god, just got lost for words. Certain drugs were not helpful and going to cause more death. And then later on have a article saying that, kind of like retracting it, saying, oh wait, it does help. It helped a lot of people.
Hydroxychloroquine?
Yes,
that
hydroxychloroquine, and I think another one as well. So
who would have thought?
They said hydroxychloroquine is going to kill people and cause more damages, and because the president's taking it, you should, because again, I'm not saying he would ever,
Zinc guys.
But if he found someone that found the cure to cancer or AIDS and he started pushing it, they would say, do not take it if you have cancer or AIDS because you will die faster. Don't do that.
It's political at this point. Like, they're just using it.
So if now then they come out with studies saying that it does help, maybe they murdered people too. Maybe they're to blame for the rise in deaths. So then you take these Democratic governors and public health officials that put elderly that were sick with COVID in nursing homes with other elderly that were sick of other things and massacred people. You have these foolish decisions that happen. Then you have them peddling that stay inside, restrict your vitamin D, restrict your airflow, restrict everything, be fearful, hurt yourself, cause more and more personal damage to yourself, be more unhealthy. If you're perfectly healthy and 400 pounds, I don't know why you're dying. And they just push everything that's false. It's upside down land with these people. They're living in La La Land, but evil La La Land. They're in Bizarro Land, okay? And it's like, so now you're telling me people could have been saved.
When I keep asking you, Darius, like, hey, is Texas closed? And you're kind of like, dude, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, it's like people are out and about out here. Like, even when I talk to people in Arizona, hey, like, how's everything? I know it's spiky. Dude, it's still busy.
Yeah.
I
Places
like.
are opening back up. A lot of places did shut down for good, sadly. They have some new precautions. That's the biggest thing.
I mean, LA shut down, shut down. Like they're gone for another 3 weeks as far as that goes. Like
Yeah, here,
it's.
you can't, like, just certain rules, masks, certain things you have to do. But for the most part, it's not that crazy. It's not, like, I don't go out clubbing. Well, I don't know where to club in Waco, but I'm sure there's something. Cause it would be all college Baylor kids. Hey, rich kid on my marry. Like, hey, you're 21, about to graduate. Your dad's fucking millionaire. All right. Anchor baby. Just kidding if you're listening and that it bothers you. It's a joke. It's okay to laugh. Laughter is supposed to be edgy. One response to something that makes you uncomfortable is laughter, and that's a biological fact. And humor comes from dark humor in the olden days, and so comedy technically was only dark humor, and then one day they split it off to like rom-coms and all that bullshit that they lied to you in Hollywood about. So again, thank you. So let's kind of bring this to an end, right? Final thoughts, George.
Watch your six, guys. You know, be careful if you're gonna go and drink. Like, do a precautionary. Don't like hook up with a random chick or dude. You know, be careful.
Or a random chick, dude.
Yeah.
Cat dog.
Oh, regarding Don Lemon, fuck yourself, bro. The Black Militia, not fucking around crew. I love the name. Probably
that should have been our podcast name.
Not
kind of mad. Did they copyright it?
Dude, let's look into it, man. Like,
you know how pissed they would be? Be like, these cracker motherfuckers just stole our copyright. Be like, copyright laws. Be like China, bro. Don't care about them.
Exactly. And then Ghislaine, stay alive. You know, we're all pushing for you to stay alive. Also charge her for pedophilia so she doesn't get bail. Let's do that, guys. Let's do that. All right.
So my closing thoughts: one, don't trust China. He's an asshole. Okay, so China's an asshole. Not the people. Look, again, I guess this is because some people are so dumb they can't distinguish the two. That goes for all people. They can't distinguish things. Chinese government is evil. I have nothing wrong with the Chinese people, and I especially don't have anything wrong with Chinese food. Other than it makes me hungry in 30 minutes, that pisses me off. But everything makes me hungry. Don Lemon, there's like a people on a list. If I ever saw, like, I backhand. You know, he's one of these people.
On site.
There's a lot list of people that are just backhand. I don't want to, like, if they want to fight me, whatever. But I at least I'd be like, officer, he needed it. He was never taught a lesson. Nobody just said, shut the fuck up, you're wrong. In his whole life, nobody taught him a lesson. I know George's been taught lessons in life. I've been taught lessons in life. And we learned humility. Okay? It was that through, you know, what Joe Rogan would recommend, or was it through being jumped? I don't know, but there was humility that was taught to us. Right? And, you know, don't let me shut up. Stop discrediting Terry Crews because he's a father. And he cares about people. Because it is all Black Lives Matter. Not just BLM, the organization. Again, I care about the sentiment, not the organization. The organization has been proven time to time again to be corrupt. Only sponsors and moves forward during election year. Weird, right? It's almost like there's a coincidence. What a coinkydink. That's such a coinkydink. And then going into the Ain't Fucking Around crew, look. Maybe that should be our name. Ain't Fucking Around crew. So they're not fucking around crew. We ain't fucking around crew. We already ain't something because there ain't nothing new under the sun. So, look. Create a dialogue. Do it right. If you're gonna push, you're gonna get pushed back. You're gonna get innocent people that believe and are following you to die. You're gonna get people killed on both sides. And I'm not saying there aren't racists, and I'm not saying there isn't problems with their government, but it's more complex than you getting 1,000 people getting pissed. You're gonna get people killed, and what's gonna happen is you personally might not get into a skirmish, but other people are going to be copycats and or followers thinking that they're doing the right thing, and they're gonna go and fight someone, shoot someone, kill someone, and it's only going to exacerbate and push the problem farther back. Because you're not creating a proper dialogue. You think force is the only way our government listens, and that's gonna be your downfall. So, should you be trained and well armed and be able to self-defend? Yeah, because guess what? If our government does fail, if China does come, I really hope you have guns, and I really hope you're gonna defend this land. I hope you're not the type of person that joins China and attacks our fucking people. Maybe some of the people in there are. But if you are really serious about trying to make change and trying to build something new for black people in America, I am for it. If that's truly what you believe is going to happen, then go for it. Will it happen? Probably not. These are most likely dreams. But don't get people killed, because you're gonna get people killed, especially with that rhetoric. That rhetoric is dangerous. Open a dialogue, have demands, and that's okay. And again, my recommendation is send a letter to Biden's campaign, send a letter to the White House, and say, I would like to sit down with both of you at the same time, and let's have an open dialogue, and let's hash out my plans, and let's figure something out. Fuck, throw Kanye West in that. Have Kanye West sit down with you too.
Mitigate.
How about that's a power move? Contact Kanye West and have a talk with him. Say, if you're president, what are you going to do for me? You know how many votes will go to Kanye because of that? A lot. And it'll help your movement, because at least you'll get a shout out from Yee. Now, my final thoughts on Giselle. Well, I'm not going to have final thoughts. They're going to be continuous. They're going to keep going until A, she's hung by suicide, or she's tried and convicted. But she should give, what they should do is say, oh yeah, we're going to help you out. Give us everything you have. And then say, psych, you're a piece of shit. And here's another thing. You ever seen A Time to Kill? If she gets off, someone's going to kill her. And here's
someone's daughter or someone's father.
Yeah. Here's one final thought. How much money is your soul worth? How much money is your child's soul worth? It's one thing to sell your own soul, but how much is it worth if something happens brutally evil or wrong to your family? If you had a child, or a nephew, a niece, a cousin, a sister, a mother, a brother, or whatever, and something horrible happens to them, how much money is worth it? Ask yourself that. So if you say there's an allegation that your child was raped, brutally raped, and then you settle in court for $1 million, but you also have a really high-end lawyer, so they take 40% of that. Then Uncle Sam takes another 40% of that. You're left with about $250,000. Was it worth it? Or would you fight for more? Or is money not the issue because you just sold your soul for money? If your child really was hurt, or loved one was really hurt, why are you accepting money? Because it's worth more than money. And the next time you think it's okay, watch the movie A Time to Kill. Because yes, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell. Because that's really how it is. Because if your child, loved one, family member was really brutally murdered or raped or whatever by a pedophile, it shouldn't be about the money. You shouldn't settle. You shouldn't just go quiet. So next time you hear an allegation without irrefutable proof, and the people just took money, just remember, in that settlement, you had to pay the legal fees, which is the lawyer. And I don't know about this, but aren't they taxed? I'm pretty sure Uncle Sam taxes everything. If you gift someone more than $10,000, if I were to be like, George, here's $11,000, it's taxed. If I give him under $10,000, $999,000, it's not taxed, and it's a one-time gift. So ask yourself again: what is your soul worth? What is your child's soul worth? What is the loved one's soul worth? I don't know. But I can tell you, keep your eyes open, all three of them.